Hello, we just got back from seeing Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I don't even know how to start this one. Previews! We never talk about previews.
We should talk about previews. There were a lot of them.
Shit, there was a lot of them. Oh my god.
I don't even remember all of them.
Well, Ninja Turtles I remember. Fuck's sake, this movie. You know...
It looks bad.
Okay. Let's just put aside the fact that it's Michael Bay. Which, honest to God, I did not know at first.
Mm-hmm.
This still looks like a piece of shit. So, I just have to say, before I have any Michael Bay bias, it looks like a piece of shit. So, now that I know it's doomed. The second piece of bad news, I'm afraid I have some bad news. Apparently they've cast Johnny Knoxville as the voice of Leonardo. The guy from Jackass. Yeah, he's supposed to be the smart one.
Well, he's supposed to be the authoritative one.
The leader.
Yeah.
Donatello's
the smart one.
Would you follow Johnny Knoxville into combat?
No.
I tell you no, I would not. Why do they have noses?
To add to the creepy factor?
And they play it up. Like, remember that one lady who's, like, screaming and, like, is like, don't worry, dude, it's just a mask. And he takes it, they're out of fucking nightmares. Mm-hmm. What did you say? They look like the Goombas from Super Mario?
Yeah, they look like the Goombas from Super Mario Brothers, the movie. They do. It's horrible.
It sucks.
And those look awful.
They've changed the origin story to where they're manufactured, like, government weapons or something like that.
Something. What?
I don't even know. And, I can't remember what else we saw. The
other previews were...
unmemorable, apparently.
The next Spider-Man movie.
Which...
I'm not really looking forward to, oddly. I liked the first one. Okay.
You liked it way better than I did.
Yeah. I liked it better than... I liked it better than Tobey Maguire.
This is true. And so did I, in fact. I never liked... What's funny is... Brief tangent. I liked the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire at first, mainly because that was the only alternative. Mm-hmm. When I watched them again, I wondered why I liked them
I had the exact same feeling, yeah. I was like, this is awesome, but it's all I have, so...
But I watched them again and I was like, this sucks. I really don't know what I saw in them at first, except for the Macho Man Randy Savage. The second one is still okay, but I still don't like it nearly as much upon a second viewing. The third one blows.
Yeah, the third one's terrible.
It's terrible. The Amazing Spider-Man, I still kind of ride the fence on it. It's adequate. Mm-hmm. I just like... the only thing I still like about that one is the fact that Spider-Man does wisecracks. Barely. But he still is the only one where he's even remotely funny.
Yeah.
This one, he seems like he's pretty funny, but this is the only one where he seems to have actual dialogue written for him. Mm-hmm. Still seems like there's no J. Jonah Jameson, because he doesn't seem to have any... he doesn't have the journalism job.
Yeah.
So there's no J. Jonah Jameson, which is just a crime. It really is. Like, he's one of my favorite characters of all time. It sucks! Mm-hmm. I just don't even know what to do with this.
Next was
the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Universe?
Galaxy,
I don't even know. This does not look good. I know people are, like, jizzing all over themselves over this movie because of Rocket Raccoon. And that's the only reason, I think, is because they're like, oh my god, it's a raccoon with a gun, it's so awesome. And I'm like, that's going to be awesome for the first 20 seconds you see it, and that's the one joke you're going to get out of it, and it's going to be played out. And then you're going to realize it's just, it doesn't look very good.
I don't know the thing that it's based on, so I can't judge, but
it's
if I just looking at it, it's not something I really care to see.
Well, and the other thing is they're playing it like it's a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Now that could be, they might now see, having not having seen it yet, I don't know if that's the smart way to go or the wrong way to go. It's based on basically like the more galactic world outside of the Earth thing. So like you're dealing with threats like Annihilus, the kind of shit Silver Surfer normally deals with, you know, outside of the normal stuff. Although usually that's played up more seriously in Marvel 616. It's not usually played for chuckles. So I don't know, but the fact they got Hooked on a Feeling as their major trailer theme song does not make me optimistic about that. Although I will say, the fact that I don't think any of the trailers used the Inception horn that I can remember made me so happy. I was so happy. Were there any Twilight supernatural romance things that you remember? I don't think so. Virtually everyone there was to see...
Everyone who was at the theater was there to see Divergence.
Oh, the one that was based on a novel.
Oh, The Giver is the one that the preview
Oh my
saw.
god. She wants to play Squeaky Toy.
And he's never read The Giver, so he doesn't know what to think. I
am
read The Giver. It's an amazing book.
I'm going to get so much heat for this, not having read that book.
Yeah, you're a terrible person.
Rightfully so. Because
It's an amazing book, and everyone should read it. It holds up even... I mean, I read it again at my age, and it's still good. But I'm not sure yet how they're going to do it for the movie. I'm not sure how well it'll translate. We'll see.
Yeah, this book apparently flew completely under my radar.
Which is odd, because it's one that they assign for class reading a lot in middle and high school. So.
Yeah, and this, just from looking at the trailer, from your description, this looks like a book I would have read, like, immediately.
Yeah.
And loved.
Yeah, it's a good book.
I don't know, man.
Squeaky toy.
Oreo's got her squeaky toy. I'm warning you.
I brought it down here just in case.
She's just in case. Okay. But yeah, everyone was there to see Divergence, a movie I know nothing about, nor do I wish to. I think
another one based on a teen novel. So.
Yeah, it seems like we're always chasing the next Twilight until we remake Twilight.
There were people there with T-shirts. I had no idea it was such a big thing. I didn't.
But okay, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
We missed one.
Oh, what?
We missed X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Okay, X-Men.
I'm excited for it, but that's because I am a huge X-Men fangirl. I have been since age like 9 or 10, so yeah, it's basically I'm a total mark for this. I'll go see it, even though I don't have very high expectations.
How many times are you gonna be hurt by the X-Men?
So many.
Before you learn.
Forever. I just can't quit X-Men.
None of the X-Men films have been any good.
The first one was decent.
No. First Class was okay.
I didn't like First Class.
See, this is what blows my mind about you. Is the only good one is the one you didn't like. Ah!
I don't know.
And this is another one I'm going to draw heat for. X-Men 2 was great. What are you talking about? X-Men 2 doesn't hold up. Although X-Men 2 was the only one that actually felt like they had powers and they were using them, and it actually helped convey any kind of metaphor for... Anyway. But, like, yeah, X-Men First Class was the only one I liked. Because, I mean, I think it was the first time the effects had finally caught up and felt authentic to the powers.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Because if you look at the first X-Men movie, it looked so cheese.
It did.
And I don't know what the fuck was up with Sabretooth. And if you saw X-Men Origins Wolverine, the effects in that one are shockingly laughable. But yeah, I will be fair. The Days of Future Past one looks surprisingly good. However, I think every time a new X-Men movie comes up, everyone gets really, really excited about it, and it's always a huge letdown.
Yeah, that's hard to live up to, though. Especially if, like me, you grew up reading comics, watching the cartoon, playing the video games. They're gonna get everything you love wrong, basically.
This is what I'm talking about. Although I was never a fan of the comics either, because I grew up in a period where... So did you, but, like, the comics sucked, too. Onslaught. That's all I gotta say to you.
I don't know how old I was when the Onslaught thing...
That was Liefeld era. That was me and you. Around the time we were reading them.
That was later, though.
Yeah.
I read a lot of the earlier... I mean, yeah, it was 90s art style, 90s everything, but everything was 90s. It's not like I had something else.
Yeah, well, we had
I couldn't
Onslaught.
go to the future
We
and
had
look at better comics.
Fuck it, I don't even know why I'm a Spider-Man fan, because we had Maximum Carnage, Maximum Clonage. Fuck's sake, did those suck. And then with the X-Men side, we had fucking Onslaught, and Onslaught took like 2 fucking years to resolve.
You know what? That's around the time I think I stopped reading. Actually.
No shit, everyone stopped reading because Onslaught sucked.
I really liked The Age of Apocalypse.
Okay, fair enough. Onslaught, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's not mention that again. That word is no longer allowed in this house.
Trust me, if anyone was an X-Men fan during that time, you will get the same haunted look that everyone, like, oh my god. That seriously, like, drove you, because when it comes to One More Day, with the Spider-Man shit, like, if people will go, like, even myself included, will be like, they'll be like, oh my god, One More Day was the worst thing that ever happened in comics. No, it wasn't. I mean, it's up there, but if you were ever around in the 90s for shit like Maximum Clonage, Maximum Carnage, and the O word, you may still put One More Day up there, but that shit competes with those 3 things, because at least with One More Day, that was like one incident, and that event lasted for like, let's say 3 months. Fucking O and the Maximum Carnage, those lasted for years. And they spread over the course of, like, they were, like, cross spectrum.
Yeah, they were in a lot of different books.
Those were across, like, all the X-Men titles. Those were across several, not just X-Men. They were crossed over with, like, other Spider-Man novels. They was fucking inescapable. Because they were so proud of that shit. Oh, my God. And they were incomprehensibly bad. You had no idea what the fuck was going on. And there were so many X-Men spin-offs. You remember how many X-Men teams there were going on?
Yeah, I read a lot of those too. I liked Excalibur. I read some X-Force.
Excalibur, X-Force, X-Factor. There was B-teams, C-teams. Jesus Christ.
I liked Generation X. I read Exiles.
Oh, I didn't know about the Exiles. Jesus. Then there was Cable.
I like Cable now. Cable, when he was first introduced, not so much.
Cable was the best when it came to Liefeld, because he always had he had the biggest arms.
And arms that would not bend if they actually existed in real life.
He didn't have elbows. He just had these arms, and he had the most pouches. And they always drew him with that eye, and the eye had the big starburst coming out of it.
Well, how would you know he's got psychic powers without that?
Liefeld just fucking had a huge boner for that eye.
Yeah.
And so, but that the big arm that didn't bend, he drew the biggest hoses coming down.
the horrible hose veins.
The veins coming down his arm. I remember Hulk Hogan used to talk about, there was this really good promo with the Ultimate Warrior he was doing. He's like, brother, we're gonna take out Ted DiBiase, brother, because I just popped some new hoses down this arm, brother.
That's a real thing that somebody said.
Yeah, he's like, I was working out in the gym, brother, and you can see this new hose that popped out down this arm, down these pythons, dude.
Oh,
and I'm like, you can see these fucking hoses running down Cable's arm, and I'm like, oh! But yeah, fucking Liefeld. Some of the best artwork, best worst artwork that ever came out of Liefeld was fucking Cable. Oh my god. The pouches.
It was certainly memorable, we'll say that.
The pouches this man drew on Cable. I don't know what the fuck he kept on him, or how.
Yeah, because that's the joke. Because you never see anybody with a million pouches reach into a pouch and pull anything useful out.
Or how he knew what was in those pouches. Like what? Like
you'd forget. You'd have to be like rote memorization of 1, 2, 3, 4.
I would have just kept candy.
Where's my lipstick? Damn it.
See, I would have just kept candy.
Candy, yeah. There's Sweet Tarts in one and Smarties in another.
Because you're traveling through time, you gotta have something.
Yeah, right. There's power bars in your belt pouch.
Something to chew on.
Anyway.
Captain America. Okay, you gotta understand where we're coming from on this one. Coming from the first movie. Did not like the first movie here.
I liked the first movie quite a lot. Are you okay, Oreo?
We keep going to Oreo. Reason being, I thought the first movie was insufferably cheesy, although, coming around to it, I think it was probably kind of meant to be. Although that doesn't really help me on that one. I did not like it that much.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was entertaining. I thought, like you mentioned before, that they've never done a good origin story when doing a Captain America movie, and they nailed it for that one. So
yeah, I mean, I liked the movie up until he actually was Captain America.
I still liked it then. I just liked. It's hard, especially nowadays, to do a superhero who is the good boy, the all-American, kind-hearted, walk old ladies across the street kind of superhero. Everyone's got to get a dark edge in nowadays.
Well, that's not why I didn't like it.
I'm just...
Sure, okay. Go ahead.
And I think that the actor portrayed that really well.
Yeah.
He really made Steve Rogers seem like such a likable, polite, gentlemanly dude, which is how he is in the comics.
Yeah.
So I liked that they didn't fuck up a character for once.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna ruin my mystique here. This was a good movie. I like this movie a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I damn sure liked it better than the first one.
I liked it better than the first one as well, but I liked the first one, so
Now,
that's saying something.
Now, I have to brace this by saying, and this is where I get draw heat. This is a really stupid movie.
If you think about the actual plot,
yeah.
yeah. But may I interject?
Sure, no, please.
I was expecting so little going into this. I was
Really?
expecting. Really, I was not looking forward to seeing this. Actually,
Why?
I thought it was gonna suck.
Why?
Because the last Marvel movie I saw was Iron Man 3.
Oh, ouch.
And it sucked. Oh my god, I want to punch that movie in its face.
And I kind of stood up for that movie.
Iron Man 3 is awful. Anyway,
Yeah?
like, it's hard. Like, even if they do a good job, which, like, Iron Man 1, I thought was a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 2 was only passing.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this would either follow the trend of either only passing or being complete shit. Like, they were either going to be or they were going to fuck it up entirely.
Well, I don't know.
They surpassed my expectations there.
I don't know if you can fairly judge it on trends.
I don't know. It's just...
It's coming off the heels of the Avengers, so...
Yeah.
I don't think you can fairly judge it on trends.
I just have... I never have good hopes for sequels. They're almost never what the first one was.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, I went into this with very low expectations, and I was actually... I felt very rewarded. I was like, oh wow, I would go see that movie in the theater again. I would... When it comes out on DVD, I'm going to buy it, because it was good enough that I'll watch it more than once.
Okay, so it vastly exceeded my expectations, I'll tell you that. So, the reason I say it's stupid is because when you stop to think about this for even a second, this movie, this is minor spoilers. We're going to get into spoilers anyway.
We're going to get into most spoilers.
We're going to get into most spoilers. But the general plot of this movie, which I don't think is going to be a huge deal breaker, is that S.H.I.E.L.D. is going on this major, pretty much fascist campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if fascist is the right word, but... Overkill Big Brother campaign, let's say.
Overkill Big Brother, totally not sanctioned by the UN.
Not the UN, but the US, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying, if this happened in real life, the UN would be all over
if
that
this
shit.
happened in real life, this would cause World War III. As soon as it occurred.
Yeah, you think that the nuclear arms race has been bad? This would have been...
This would cause it, like, immediately. Like, this is why, this is why missile defense... If we developed a missile defense system that could intercept ICBMs, this would trigger a serious problem.
Maybe we should explain what this is.
Okay. What happens is S.H.I.E.L.D. Captain America goes on this mission to... okay, back up. A covert S.H.I.E.L.D. ship is hijacked and held ransom. So Captain America and Black Widow are sent in to capture it. So, Captain America rescues the hostages, but it turns out Black Widow was also sent in on a secret mission to retrieve some stolen data that was on a database in the tanker. So Captain America's upset, goes to see Nick Fury, and he's pissed off because Nick Fury keeps fucking him over on this.
Yeah, and not telling him things.
And not telling him
as
shit.
Nick Fury is wont to do.
Yeah, Nick Fury's always been this guy. So he's like, okay, you want to see shit? I'll show you some shit. So he goes and takes him down into this enormous goddamn bunker beneath the Triskelion and shows him these 3 goddamn helicarriers. And he goes, check this shit out! And he shows him the helicarriers and he's like, we're gonna put these goddamn motherfucking things in the sky. And these things are they got so many goddamn guns. And he shows him all these goddamn guns on the belly of these helicarriers. There's fucking a lot of guns.
Yeah.
Like, it's all guns.
It's like if the people who drew comics in the 90s saw these, they would jizz themselves.
It's like Liefeld.
There's so many guns.
Like, this is the USS Liefeld.
They should have called it that.
It's got so many guns, it would make Charlton Heston grow a 6-foot boner. And that's pretty much the plan.
Yeah.
It's like the NRA is like just skyrockets. And so he's like, what are you going to do with these? We're going to put them in the sky. And like the whole plot, the whole plot is like, it's got quantum computers that can calculate terror threats. And as soon as they calculate where terrorists are, they can launch a preemptive strike and eradicate wherever terrorists are immediately. Anywhere in the world.
Yep.
See if you can spot the problem here. It won't take long. And Captain America spots this problem in approximately 0.001 seconds. He goes, that's fucking stupid. Because they haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
B, you're launching missiles unprovoked into foreign soil against people who haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah, there could be a few problems with this plan. I'm sure they'll clear it up in beta, though.
C, I'm pretty sure that you're doing this without the consent of anybody in the world. And D, you're launching fucking super weapons that, Nick Fury says this, by the way, that within seconds can glass entire cities. He says this. He's like, he can wipe out cities with these helicarriers. 3 of them. Wipe out cities. And Captain America's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And Nick Fury's like, this is the real world, Cap! You better get with the program! He says that. He's like, this is the real world, Cap! Get with the program! Cap's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Okay! Back up. We're going back to the tanker here. I have to protest the treatment of one of my favorite villains of all time. Batroc the Libère. Played by the incomparable George St. Pierre. Which was a decent fight for as long as it lasted, which was about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
It was a decent fight,
there could have been more leaping.
Yeah, there needed to be far more leaping from Batroc the Libère. If you don't know Batroc the Libère, you need to go look him up, because he's a great villain. He leaps, and he kicks people in the face! He kicks everyone in the face!
He even kicks Captain America.
He kicks Captain America in the face! A lot! He kicks Hawkeye in the face a lot, too. He kicked Batman in the face one time, too. And he's not even Marvel, and he kicked Batman in the face. That's how hard he kicks people in the face. He can cross over.
He can cross to other people's comics.
He did! There was a crossover, and he kicked Batman in the face! There's so many fucking comics where he kicks Captain America in the face. It's fucking great. And he barely kicks Captain America in the face at all.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to give them credit. He takes a full-on ass-kicking from Captain America and gets up like 10 seconds later.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be like... I mean, like, how could he do that? Like, Captain America does all this shit and knocks through doors and he punches a guy, you'd think he'd stay down.
You gotta be hardcore to take a pounding from Captain America and get up from that shit.
What has this guy been eating for breakfast? Because I want some.
Because he's Batroc the Libère. And he's a master of Savat, the French art of boxing with your feet and kicking people in the face. There needed to be approximately 10,000 more kicking people in the face. He's one of my favorite guys.
I see that.
Kick people in the face, babe. And even you kick people in the face. Seriously, do a Google image search of Batroc that kicks people in the face. I wish there was a comic book of it. Anyway.
Moving on.
I don't think I can.
You're gonna have to.
Shield helicarriers. This is where the movie gets stupid. Because right away, all right, who gives Shield this much goddamn funding to build these 3 fucking super weapons? Like, what's your problem?
She knocked over the keyboard.
we just decided to develop these 3 fingers of God to glass cities at will. We've decided to keep this. We've somehow kept this secret from everybody. You need level 10 security clearance to know this exists, which Captain America does not have. Mm-hmm. So, you would need a squad of thousands to build this fucking thing, which this has been kept secret. So, helicarriers. Whatever. Like, you suggested it was the cigarette tax.
Yeah.
Helped pay for I don't fucking think so. So, even barring Captain America's, isn't this, incredibly immoral / illegal / fascist / what the fuck? The incredible potential for the abuse of power. The fact that whoever is president of the United States at the time not only has his finger on the nuclear button, but who literally, they mention this, can, at the flip of a switch, erase entire cities. Which doesn't sound like... This... Ah!
It's just not a good plan.
This is not a good plan!
Then again, I'm hard-pressed to think of a good plan in comic book universe.
Yeah, and this is where we were talking about a little bit earlier. How stupid are we willing to go with a supervillain plan where I say it's okay? By that I mean, this is the rule I say because comics. Mm-hmm. This plan is absurdly stupid, but you can't have a movie without it. Mm-hmm. So, why am I willing to let some things slide and yet say, other things not slide? For instance, Iron Man 3. At the end of Iron Man 3, he's willing to, for no reason, just destroy, 50 Iron Man suits. For no reason other than it's, pretty. He's like, I'm giving up these Iron Man suits. I'm going to start over from scratch. And he literally blows up, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Iron Man suits that could have gone to so much better use in terms of, renewable energy, charity, going into his own project. He just throws it away, potentially pollutes the entire bay.
Yeah, there's got to be some heavy metals in there.
Yeah, no, there are. There's fucking... Palladium, and throwing that in the fucking water. Good job, Tony. But, so, he just blows up zillions of dollars worth of his shit. Why am I not willing to let that one go? And am I potentially willing to let the fact that S.H.I.E.L.D. just has 3 helicarriers that are obviously going to get hijacked and used by whoever the supervillain of the week is? You would have to be stupid not to think this is going to get just... especially in the world they live in.
Yeah, what happens when, another Loki comes back?
Exactly! This... Right.
Hijacks, they already got one of your helicarriers down, they're gonna...
Exactly. Literally, this is coming off the heels of Loki. Mm-hmm. And they mention this. They're like, Loki just came down and fucked with this shit. Mm-hmm. And Loki has demonstrated the power to brainwash anyone he wants. Mm-hmm. So... let's assume that he somehow comes down and brainwashes the President of the United States, who has authority over this shit. Mm-hmm. And he's like, erase Moscow. But Mr. President, flip, done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not saying that we can't do anything in the terms of national defense, but, wow. This seems an absurdly stupid plan to just launch super weapons into the sky. But but we can't have a movie without it. So there's a limit here. This rides the line. But because comics, this was really stupid.
But
the movie manages to keep going fast enough that it's, you don't really stop and think about it that much. And the action is really good.
Yeah. Extremely good action. Very fast-paced. But not so fast-paced that you felt like you were getting whiplash from it.
It's almost to the point where you don't care so much about the carriers, because they almost gloss over that fact. They're just like, there's weapons in the air. Oh, look, Captain America's being chased. He's got to get away. You know, the carriers are almost an afterthought. It's more about kind of Captain America being chased by S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, spoilers. No, because really, that's what it's more about is him than, or you know, trying to stop the bad guy. Then the carriers are more like his instrument than it is the main plot, if that makes sense. It's by stopping him, he stops the carriers. You know what I mean? So somehow it's juggled to where I didn't really care. The other thing that made me laugh about that one is the fact that to stop the carriers, they have these little targeting chips, these little cards.
The little microchip card things.
They have these little microchip server cards.
They have a bunch of them too. It's like a whole row of them, like a vending machine.
Yeah, so and then
of
course
you only have to take out one.
One, and they
put another one in.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, to stop the carriers from destroying the cities, you have to take out one of these little targeting cards and put the one we have in, and that'll shut the whole thing down.
No one at any point though says, "Where did you get these?"
Yeah, so
we just have them.
So like Nick Fury
just in case.
Nick Fury just opens up a case. And he's like, "Take these cards, take these motherfucking cards." And I'm like, "Where did you get those?" "I just have them." And I'm like, "This is stupid." "I know." He just has these cards. Like, where did you? What the fuck?
Well, it's the Nick Fury always has a contingency plan.
Right, but yeah, he just has these specifically tailored computer server cards.
I would imagine that he had those because he would anticipate someone taking over his things.
But you're like,
he always does. It's Nick Fury.
Whatever. But you're like, whatever, because comics.
Yeah.
And by the way, these things are so conveniently placed. They're directly accessible from underneath the helicarrier.
Yeah, you don't even have to be in the helicarrier. You don't have to get on board so much as you just need to go underneath it, and it's just hanging down.
You kind of pull the thing out. Couldn't you just open the thing and punch it?
Yeah, you'd think, because then it would be broken.
Then you'd break the computer.
Yeah.
Be like, rip.
Yeah, just toss.
Your computer's fucked.
Yeah, because you could just throw shit over the side. There's no there's not a whole lot of
whip. Uh-oh.
Now you can't target nothing.
Targeting shit. But no, the whole fight is centered around me. I gotta put the fucking thing in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd just be like, blam.
Yeah. Look, I crunch. Oh, look, it crunch. Oh, I guess it's broke now.
Oh, life support. Oh, there goes propulsion. Oh, shit. I don't even know what the fuck this is. That was probably really important. Oh, there goes Galaga.
Yeah, that's true.
Why couldn't they just smash it?
I don't know. I didn't think of that at the time because it was.
Of course, that's what I mean.
It was done well enough that you were like, "Oh my god, is he gonna make it? Oh my god, even shit! Yeah, oh holy crap!"
It was moving fast enough where you're just like, "The action's really good. Oh shit!"
Yeah. So you were kind of edge of your seat, and you didn't really think about that until afterward, which is fine with me.
But yeah, it was really stupid.
But good enough that I'd easily let it pass.
But yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I sound like such a hypocrite. The action was really good. The action was really good. I liked the way it was shot, and I liked the characters well enough that I'm willing to let a lot slide in the name of that. It wasn't cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't grimdark.
Yeah, it could have easily gone that way with Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I don't like the trend that so many superhero movies have gone from. It started off cheesy, and then with Dark Knight, it went grimdark. And a lot of movies have unnecessarily gone grimdark.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, Captain America has not gone grimdark. They haven't felt the need to do that.
Yeah.
Like Superman has gone grimdark, and there's been no reason to do that. And they don't need to make him grimdark. They can go serious with him, but they don't need to make him like brooding.
Yeah. And
this is how you do it with Captain America. Is you can have him deal with serious issues, but you don't need to have him be like, I'm so conflicted. My life is a lie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know.
He just gets out there, and he's happy when he knows who to fight. And he knows what side he's on. He just goes for it.
But that's the point of this movie, is he doesn't know what side to fight with, and that's the course of this movie, and that's what this movie is more about than fighting, than helicarriers and shit like that. And that was what interested me more. And this is the tangent I wanted to go on, if I may.
Of course.
The first thing I want to say is, I am so tired of the bad guy, of the war on terror. We do what we must because war on terror. America is the villain because war on terror. We must destroy because, we America must destroy preemptively because fuck yeah and shit like that. This is the world we live in, so get with the program, Cap, and shit like that. I hate it. I get it. It's been done. I get it. So tired of it. So done with the war on terror. America is the ugly bad guy thing. I know. It's played. However, it actually is very appropriate in the case of Captain America here. And here's why. It's because Captain America has awoken in a very different world than the one he started with. And the whole crux of the movie is that he's doing stuff that he's not used to. I mean, the whole area of black and white is not, it's not as clear, So
it was easy to know what you were doing and what side you were on when you were fighting Nazis and stuff like that. Now with all the subterfuge and things like that, he's not suited to it. He's not suited to lying. He's not suited to sneaking and spying. He's suited to, just wholesomely punching Hitler in the face.
Right. And so, he's been thrust into a world he's completely alien to, and it's not just because of the internet and not because of Facebook and stuff like that. It's because he's dealing with, like, shadow governments and stuff like that. He's,
Which
even as...
may have existed in his time, but it seemed more innocent, at least, on the surface. So, he was more naive then, and he's finding a lot of that stripped away in this. Yeah.
And so, he's not used to the idea of, like, preemptively dealing with threats. The fact that, removing liberties to, I forget who, but the whole idea that we're removing liberties from people to
ensure safety.
To ensure safety on this scale, anyway.
At one point, he even says, I thought punishment came after the crime.
Yeah, and this is just abhorrent to him, as it should be. And so the fact that he's Captain America and he's working for America, and all of a sudden he doesn't really know, he doesn't know what he's working, who he's working for. It's almost like he's considering leaving. And at some point he's being chased by his own people, and it's like you can almost feel that he's heartbroken, because that's what the movie's about. And I'm like, this is actually really cool. I like that kind of, there's a character arc there. And this is what he's dealing with. For once, I was really pissed off at first, because I'm like, oh god, another fucking war on terror. America's the bad guy, blah, 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 blah. But, for Captain America, this is something he's legitimately had to deal with. And I'm like, okay. I gave it a pass. I guess again. and even though I said this movie is really, really stupid, for Captain America's character, it's actually dealt with fairly intelligently. I'm done.
Okay.
Carry on.
Where were we?
I was just talking about War on Terror.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah. We have to backtrack now because
Do
that
we?
was a long tangent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nick Fury. You know, he gets shot at.
Oh yeah.
Are we just gonna recap the movie, or
I don't know. Are we? Are we done?
I don't know.
We looked at the end.
Mainly, we were just talking about like, we liked it because it was a lot of action. It kept going fast. We didn't care. We didn't really care if it was that stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't stupid enough to bother you. It was stupid in the way that comic books tend to be, in that their plots are not very realistic and probably wouldn't fly in a real life setting.
Of course not. Although, by the end of it, when everything's been destroyed, I'd be damned if I'm cleaning that shit up.
Oh yeah, that's gonna...
Man, the wreckage these guys have left behind in their wake over the last 2 movies.
Yeah.
Motherfuck, man.
Yeah, a lot of mess.
Fuck!
A lot of bodies now floating in the ocean.
I'm not even talking about bodies.
Well, just the metal.
How do you clean that shit up? Fucking New York has been laid waste thanks to a Chitauri battle fleet.
Mm-hmm.
They're still cleaning that. They'll never clean that shit up. And then fucking... I don't even know where the Triskelion is. Like, not DC, but
no,
like... is it New York?
I thought it was DC.
Hmm?
Because you see Captain America
jogging. Is. Yeah. Fucking DC's had, like, helicarriers dropped on it. God damn. I don't know how they're going to clean that shit up. It's going to take a while.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the moments you really liked.
Well, actually, let's first talk about Winter Spoonie.
Winter Spoonie. Yeah, we should. It does. It's the hair. Yeah.
I'd have to be a lot more oily and greasy to... I've been told that I look like the Winter Soldier. I have to be a lot scruffier, and my hair would have to be a lot greasier, and a little bit longer. I've gotten a haircut since the last time you saw me, but
despite my advice,
she protested mightily, but I needed to get a haircut. I've been told I look slightly like the Winter Soldier. I can see it's the hair.
It's the hair.
I don't look like the Winter Soldier, but it's the hair. I can see why you'd think that. Thank you. He's a good-looking guy. He's got slightly more bulk than me. I will not be cosplaying as the Winter Soldier anytime soon. Don't worry.
I would encourage you to do it if it weren't for that fucking arm.
That arm would be...
that would be so hard. There's no way to do it good. There's going to be people doing it with tinfoil, and it's just going to not... it's going to look terrible.
There's no way to pull off that arm. I don't see how anyone's going to do that any... easily.
Not easily. I've seen someone do Edward Elric's arm from Full Metal Alchemist, and they did it really well. And it was just like either cardboard or craft foam. But it looked real, and it was excellent. I don't know if you could translate that to this, because it's more smooth and streamlined.
You'd have to make it so articulate and so meticulous.
Yeah.
And there's no way I'm doing that shit. You'd have to make it tailored.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to have my arm, right there to do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that. If I was ever going to do it, I'd have a jacket over it and just be like, but no, I'm not going to do it. But no, I can see it. I can see the resemblance, but no, it's not really. But yeah, we're looking at that, and I'm like if you get the hair kind of wet, I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. So when the
we just have to put you on a motorcycle for a while so your hair can be all windswept.
You're windswept. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, as he's wrecking shit on the helicarrier, I'm like, Winter Spoonie disapproves, and he's throwing shit around.
They did a good job of making him pretty menacing.
They made him menacing, but there really wasn't much to his character
There's not much for him to do, but I think that's because they're saving it for the next movie. They heavily implied that there's going to be another one.
I honestly thought the Winter Soldier was kind of wasted in this movie. He was just he was kind of a henchman.
Yeah, it felt like a setup, though. It felt almost like like the lead ups to the Avengers movie, and
Yeah.
that, like, even if it wasn't perfect, it was setting something up for later.
I don't know what you do
The
with
fight
this guy.
scenes with him were really good.
They were great. Yeah, I liked the fights a lot, but he just, that's all he really was fight scenes.
Mhm.
You never got to. Well, the thing is, there wasn't any character to him.
Yeah.
He was essentially mind wiped. At least
Yeah.
that was the.
He's all brainwashed and.
So that he was essentially like just a robot.
Yeah.
You know. So there wasn't really any, aside from the fact he was getting flashes of memory. So I don't know. It was hard for me to reconcile this character because there wasn't anything to him. Aside from Captain America's reactions to seeing this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't. If you ask me what would I do with him, I don't know.
Yeah.
But his involvement felt a little flimsy because I thought he was supposed to be like a Russian agent.
He basically is.
But he's not Russian.
Well, they're like.
He works for Hydra.
But yeah, but Black Widow's talking about that he's using Russian arms. He's got Russian guns, unmarked, untraceable.
But the Mengele guy, the Dr. Zola, was a Nazi. He wasn't Russian.
Actually, he's Swiss, he says.
I am Swiss, but he was a Nazi. So, like...
He was a Hydra Nazi.
But they were very much not Russian.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
I can't talk here. I haven't read enough Captain America
I don't know.
To know the whole backstory in comic.
I don't know. That seemed weird to me because he was supposed to be a Russian. Now, I'm sure that the origin seems the same to me in the comics, so I'm sure somebody in the comics will explain this to me in great detail. But yeah, I didn't quite understand where he came from. I'm sure he'll show up in the next one at some point because they specifically mention. I'm spoiling the shit out of it. No.
Yeah. Sorry, a million spoilers.
Nobody dies in these movies. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I kept expecting him to be like, by the end of the film, you shot me like 5 times, ass! Quit it! Ow!
Everyone gets shot in this movie at least once.
Everyone gets shot. That was the only, like, kind of quote-unquote grimdark part of this movie, is everyone gets their ass kicked in this movie.
Everyone has at least one bullet hole in them, I think.
Hawkeye doesn't show up.
No, he doesn't.
Which I thought was weird.
Yeah, I almost wish that they would make excuses in the movies. Like, I'm not sure which is better, that they just don't mention people, or, if it would be worse if they said, oh yeah, sorry, Iron Man's busy doing this, or...
That I don't mind. I didn't mind, because in the other Marvel movies, it always seems like they have other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind, they're like, where's Thor? Well, he's in Asgard doing shit. Like, I don't care. Iron Man has shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Banner's working with Iron Man, whatever.
Yeah, but it seems like Hawkeye should have been there, so...
It seems like Hawkeye should have been around.
Like, they should have said something about, like, well, where's Hawkeye? Oh, he's deep cover in the Amazon, or something, like that.
That was the only thing... That was the only one I thought should have been in question, but I wasn't really pissed. I was just like... When Black Widow's running around, I'm like... Especially when they're on the run. I was like...
Why wouldn't she call him?
I was like, why don't you call Hawkeye? Especially when they show up at Falcon's place and like, everyone's trying to kill us. I'm like, call Hawkeye.
Yeah. He'd probably help you out.
He might help you. He has a bow.
Mm-hmm.
He could shoot people. He's really good at shooting people. I don't know. You see a lot of Nick Fury. This is a very Nick Fury-centric movie.
Yeah, they really did put a lot of Samuel L. Jackson up in...
And he kicks the shit out of Robert Redford. Describe what Captain America looks like! Does he look like a bitch? There is a little Easter egg, and this is not a spoiler, but you see Nick Fury's tombstone. Trust me, that is not a spoiler. It's not.
I know.
Despite what that sounds like, but anyway, on his tombstone, there's a little quote. There's a little passage I got memorized, and it says, "The path of the righteous man," unquote. That's a reference to Pulp Fiction, which you still haven't seen, by the way.
No.
You were very close-minded about that movie, which you haven't seen. She's very resistant to watching Quentin Tarantino. You need to talk to her about this, guys. Yeah, but yeah, he also has a, what is it, a Dodge, his car.
Yeah.
He has an armored SUV, which is impressive, and yet when it gets T-boned by another car, nothing works.
Yeah. It's apparently it's so impressive it could have taken flight. That thing.
It can fly.
Unless you get hit by a car, then it's useless.
Hydra has a shitload of guys.
Yeah. Where are they recruiting from? Is what I want to know. What is the recruitment poster say for Hydra?
Their recruiting process is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, awesome. And I'll tell you, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s screening process sucks. Like, when my brother, when he became a cop, they run you through some pretty vigorous, like, personality testing to make sure you're not a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s fucking sucks. Because, like, they've been infiltrated, and, like, there's Hydra agents in the police force, because they got fucking police cars.
Yeah.
They got fucking... They're dressed in, like, SWAT. They're dressed in, like, FBI. They're dressed in, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. Holy shit! There's a lot of these guys.
There are very many.
They've got access to rifles, grenade launch. They got miniguns.
Yeah.
You remember when they jump out of those fucking trucks with miniguns? I'm like, what the fuck? These guys are awesome. They got fucking jets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this shit goes crazy. Like, Captain America's underneath his shield getting shot up by miniguns. I'm like, wow! It was a really cool scene, but I'm like, fucking Hydra, man. How are they getting past the screening process?
Yeah, like, does everybody in the TSA work for Hydra secretly, so they're just letting them through with all these guns?
It reminds me, I was like, how did the Winter Soldier get in here? Like, how's he getting in another country?
How did he get anywhere with his big fucking metal arm?
Dude's got like a fucking metal arm, man. You go through metal detector, root, root, root. Would you put your hands over your head, please?
Maybe they just like let him off and
he's all brooding
the rest of the way.
Do you have anything to declare, sir? He's just walking through all brooding and badass. What's wrong with your arm, sir? Nothing.
I've got some pins in my elbow.
Yeah, it's just like I guess there's nothing wrong with his arm. It's just metal, You can't stop him for it. I don't know.
The field of prosthetics. You just don't know how far it's come.
It's Marvel, man. It's because comics. I guess he swims. He's got a metal arm. He can keep swimming. Yeah. It's Hydra, Yeah. He's got planes. At least they got rid of was it Gary Sanders?
Yeah.
Gary.
Senator.
We finally know what's up with Gary Sanders. Bastard. That son of a bitch.
That asshole.
Asshole.
No wonder he didn't like Iron Man.
We know why he doesn't like Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
That son of a bitch. He gets what he deserves. Hail Hydra! Yeah. Spoilers, I don't care.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, that son of a bitch.
I don't care about spoilers anymore. Fuck that Gary Sanders guy. He gets what's coming to him. One thing I did like was that one that S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, the guy with the black hair.
Mm-hmm.
That guy who keeps basically the lead henchman of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. You really want the Falcon and Captain America to kick that motherfucker's ass.
Yeah, you really, really want to see him get punched in the face by the end of that.
And I don't know why. They don't really give him any villainous dialogue so much.
No, they don't. He's just
like, fucking slimy.
Asshole.
He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. He's just I guess he's just a really good actor or something like that, but
he's good at looking like an asshole.
He's good at just seeming menacing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I'm watching this whole movie and I'm he's so smug.
Yeah.
I want Captain America to punch him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And Falcon's fighting him, I'm like, Falcon, punch him in the face.
Yeah, punch him many times.
Punch him a lot. So yeah, I like that. I like that guy. He was a good henchman. No, it was
Yeah.
So yeah,
he was a good, competent henchman too. He didn't. There was none of that bullshit that you always see where there's a big bad guy going, "You failed me for the last time," and then
yeah.
I kind of get tired of that sometimes.
So yeah, sometimes a good movie is just what they don't fuck up. There's no annoying comic relief. Falcon was not the wisecracking, oh hell no, black guy. That could have easily been like, Chris Rock or something like that.
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Oh hell no, Cap! I ain't doing this. Like
Yeah, they didn't do that.
Cap hands him
he
this.
Was a good character.
Captain America hands him this jetpack. He's like, I'm going to need you to put this on. Oh man!
He already did that. That was like his job.
Right, but you can see.
Which I want to know where the government got the money for that, like winged jetpacks.
Because comics. That one actually somewhat makes more sense to me because, trust me, if anything, I'm gonna let anything go. Fuck that. I mean, come on. But yeah, I like the fact that there's no forced romance in that movie between him and Black Widow.
Yeah, that was nice. It was good to see them just, be friends. Like, it doesn't have to be, like...
Yeah.
Just because there's a sexy lady in the movie, she doesn't have to be the love interest. She can just be a competent soldier.
No, true. I mean, it's PG-13 movie. I don't know, probably PG-13.
It was PG-13.
But yeah, I mean... sometimes it's just like it's not right, just have a movie, you don't need to throw it in there because there's these two people together, and it was a good movie. But yeah, we're rambling now, so I think we should wrap it up.
I have a spoiler I liked.
Please go. Please.
I really like that they just threw in Doctor Strange.
Yes, you missed that one.
Yeah, you had to point it out to me, but I liked the fact that they did that. I love in Marvel movies when they throw in references to other characters.
I don't know why they threw that in there, by the way. It seemed like really random. It was Dr. Zola was mentioning like...
Was it? No, it was the other guy. It was the guy they had on the roof.
Oh, yeah. He's like...
The shield, like...
He's like, what's this algorithm we have? And he's like, oh, it's for the helicarriers. Mm-hmm. He's like... This was almost like Metal Gear Solid 2 level shit. Where it's like... The S3 program where it's like it analyzes all the data from your past and present to
predict what you're going to do in the future.
Yeah, to predict the future using quantum computing.
Yeah.
To predict terror before it happens and kill you.
Or basically just to predict whether or not you're going to be a threat. Kind. So.
And I'm like,
the guy starts listing off.
Yeah, he starts listing off threats. And he's like, you, Nick Fury, Stephen Strange, and blah, blah. And I'm like, Stephen Strange? Doctor Strange? And I'm like, what the fuck? Whoa.
Go back to that.
Go back to that guy. Who the fuck?
You do not fucking mention Doctor Strange and then not give me a Doctor Strange movie. So you give me a fucking Doctor Strange movie, Marvel.
Like, stop the movie! Doctor Strange! Holy shit!
Yeah.
But yeah.
So now they've got my hopes up, and they'll probably be bitterly crushed.
They have not, as far as I know, put a Doctor Strange movie in.
They just put a reference in there. But come on, give him a cameo. I'd be happy with that. I would be happy with that.
Oh, I knew one thing I was going to mention, and this is another tangent. But you will like this one. They're going off on... Robert Redford is going off on his whole... He's the villain. Obviously, he's the villain. He's Robert Redford in this fucking movie, and he immediately starts talking in this supervillain dialogue. So much so that I'm like, why doesn't Captain America immediately go like, really? Because he's talking. Captain America's talking to him, and he's like, it's an honor to meet you, sir. And he's like, how is it being in the real world again, the modern world, Captain? He's like, it's also strange. Sometimes I don't quite recognize, exactly. It used to be so black and white. Now, sometimes it's not so clear. And he's like, well, that's why we're here. That's why S.H.I.E.L.D.'s here. And things are always changing. And that's why we're building these helicarriers. Because sometimes to build a new one, you have to tear the old one down. And I'm like, really? Really?
Yeah.
You just mentioned, destroying the world in front of Captain America. And, this just goes right over his head.
Yeah. Surely you didn't mean... Nah.
Yeah, it is sometimes... if you said it in a menacing voice, sometimes you have to tear the old one down.
Yeah, he didn't include an evil laugh, so...
If he'd turned around and faced the window and, wrung his hands... But yeah, like Robert Redford, he's got such an infectious smile. This is... But yeah, he's just giving him, like, if it was at the end of the movie, and he was giving this as his villainous monologue, you wouldn't have had to change a word. Like, sometimes, Captain, to build a new world, you have to tear the old one down. You know, I'm like, shouldn't this be at the end of the movie? But
that was not the most subtle foreshadowing, admittedly.
No, so at the end of the movie, and this is one thing I didn't like, the pacing at the end fight is really off.
Really?
Because yeah, you've got like 3 separate fights going on, too. You've got, Captain America fighting Winter Soldier, you got Falcon dealing with shit, and then we keep cutting back to Robert Redford giving his villain monologue. For like...
To the, like, SHIELD.
To the World Council of people who sit in shadowy rooms and secretly rule the world, who don't actually do that in this movie.
Yeah, no, they're just walking around.
Who sit in fairly well-lit rooms and secretly rule the world through holograms.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like, fighting, flying, explosions! Robert Redford talking for 3 minutes. Fighting, explosions, flying! Robert Redford talking for 3 minutes. And I'm like, ooh,
it didn't bother me. I didn't find it... Because I knew something was going to happen in there, so I was waiting for it.
Yeah, it's...
Like, they wouldn't have kept showing it if something wasn't going to happen, and of course something happened.
It was too roller coastery for me, and it was just like, action! And I'm like, ugh. Especially since they even do this thing where, like Falcon and the asshole were, like, swinging punches, and they're like, ah! And then you see, what if Iran invaded Pakistan? Like, they cut, like, right before they punch
right
face.
Before they get to the face punching, they
cut.
Like,
ah! And what if Iran invaded Pakistan? And I'm like, and I'm like, you bastards.
It didn't bother me.
But, yeah, so he goes off on this rant about how we have to do what we have to do because terror is everywhere. And if we don't strike at the root of terror before it grows, it'll spring up like a weed. Exactly.
It was like that. Not in those exact
He's like, we gotta pull it up by the root or we'll never get rid of it.
We'll never get rid of the terror dandelions on
our
lawn of freedom.
We'll never weed the garden of freedom without pulling terror by the... Whatever, you know what I mean. So he goes off on this example. He's like, what if Iran invaded Pakistan and then the first thing they did was trot people out into a soccer arena and your daughter was among them and they shot them all on national TV. What would you do if you had the chance to just flip a switch and destroy those terrorists before it even happened? And I'm like, okay, you've raised an interesting ethical argument. Okay, interesting. And so they launch these helicarriers, these super weapons that can stop terror. And I'm like, this is your chance to show the world what you can do to put an end to these terror threats, to preemptively strike, to win the war on terror, for Hydra to show what it can do.
Well, see, that was never their intention, though.
But it was.
No, because they were going to kill people who were just threats to Hydra, mostly.
Okay, well, we can make both assumptions. All right. So let's say your assumption is that they want to eliminate threats to Hydra. My assumption is, because this is what Dr. Zola says, is that at first Hydra wanted to... At first they were just going to conquer the world with an iron fist. They were going to take the Nazi party, essentially, and hammer down all resistance. But that didn't work. Because when they tried to, the Allies banded together and crushed them right back. Because apparently when you try to take people's freedoms, they don't like that. So, Hydra decided to take a different tack. They decided to use the Velvet Glove to win people over through subterfuge, subtlety, brainwashing, and winning over hearts and minds. Yeah. So, that's why they've infiltrated basically every echelon of society and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so they're going to try to, win over hearts and minds, probably, partially by winning over the war on terror. So
see, but that's not what I got here, is that they were deliberately sowing destruction and chaos so that people would then turn to
them.
Totalitarianism for security, which...
Yeah. So what, they're going to pin this
Like-
on the terrorists?
Yeah, that's what I figured. Something
Okay.
like that. Or
Okay, well-
that they were gonna maybe pin it on S.H.I.E.L.D. or I'm not even sure.
Well,
they never really made
This
that
is
clear.
this is where I'm saying this makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever the plan is, they launch these helicarriers, and the first thing they do is they start targeting New Jersey, D.C., and I think like New York. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
you-
I could not figure out who they were going to pin that on.
What the fuck?
Like, even if you get rid of all of your supposed threats to Hydra,
Yeah,
who
like-
are you going to blame for this?
Yeah, and I'm like,
And then who are the citizens frightened now going to
right,
hand over the reins of power to?
right, and I'm like,
Because it's not going to be to S.H.I.E.L.D. because S.H.I.E.L.D. just blew the shit up.
in no example that we've brought up, yours or mine, does this make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, S.H.I.E.L.D. is now targeting New Jersey, Washington, D.C., and New York. Okay, New Jersey's no one's gonna miss.
Like I said, they'd at least get rid of Jersey Shore.
Okay, but, like, D.C. and New... Okay, yeah, D.C. has Congress. Okay, New York people are gonna miss. You know, I'm kidding. But... Okay, but not New Jersey. But you've got S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarriers erasing 2 major cities. With my example, like, you've got them trying to serve some example of winning the war on terror. And the first thing you do is wipe out major cities on the eastern seaboard.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong!
Yeah.
Wrong! The second thing, let's say they're trying to instigate some kind of hidden, a false flag attack
Mm-hmm.
by destroying major cities and pinning it on terrorists or something. Wrong! Because who are you going to pin this on? You've obviously got S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarriers launching a major destructive... This is obvious.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking helicarrier is doing this. Wrong!
Yeah, like, it would have made more sense if the helicarriers had cloaking, like the one
Yeah!
in Avengers. But they're right there. They're not even very high up. You can just see them. You can just look up at the city and see them.
Literally, everyone's going to look up and... Oh, shit!
Mhm.
Like,
And they aren't unmarked either. They all have, like,
right there! Shit!
their numbers and stuff on them, and they say S.H.I.E.L.D. on the side.
Yeah, this is not going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are you going to... Okay, you're going to pin this on S.H.I.E.L.D.? Why?
Yeah.
I don't... You're going to pin it on Nick Fury? Well, that's not going to work. I don't...
Yeah, you can't do that because they thought he was dead. So.
That... None of this makes sense. Okay, so, like, you're going to... What end does this serve?
Yeah. We couldn't figure that one out.
Like, this does not help Hydra at all.
Mhm.
Because you've just wiped out for three cities. I don't see how this puts Hydra in charge at all.
Yeah, that's
Aside from maybe just okay, unless you've just decided to reveal yourselves as Hydra and say, like, we now have these super weapons, you'll now just hand over America to us or we'll wipe out cities.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not, they've never said that's what their plan was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their whole plan was basically to disrupt things so that people would be afraid of all the chaos and willingly basically hand themselves over to a police state.
Yeah, their whole plan was based on subtlety and subterfuge.
Mm-hmm.
They never once said that their plan was to hold anyone hostage,
Mm-hmm.
hold the country hostage, or Robert Redford would have said so. You know, like, Plan B, we're just gonna take it, you know, something like that.
Yeah, well, and like he even says, you know, if I get rid of these, however many million, I'll save 7 billion.
Yeah, he's like,
How?
he's like, I'm gonna save 6 billion by getting rid of 20 million.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, A, who? B, how?
Yeah.
I'm like, who?
Their
Like,
goals are very nebulous.
I'm like, who are you killing? You gotta clear this up for me,
killing
pal.
Doctor Strange, evidently.
I'm like, you're wiping out Washington D.C. here. Why? Like, you gotta give me something, pal, because you're wiping
yeah,
out.
it's almost implied that they're wiping out the city. They're nuking the anthill to get one of the ants.
Yeah,
Like, if
but-
one person they want dead lives in New York, they're nuking all of New York.
but I see specifically on the screen that he's targeting the president of the United States.
Mhm.
I see this on the screen. I'm like, okay, you want to hit the president. Now you've caused some shit,
Mm-hmm.
because now you've got a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier hitting the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you done fucked up, son.
Yeah.
Because Now remember, he's in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know what the fuck you do now, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, and why would they even need to do that since they've obviously infiltrated everything?
Yeah!
You saying they don't have any White House aides?
You've got people everywhere, man.
I mean, we almost killed the president with Nightcrawler, come on.
Like, you don't even, like... I have to think you don't need a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier to wipe out the president if you've got this many resources.
Yeah. And how many people has Winter Soldier already killed? He's an assassin, that's what he does.
Yeah, like, you
There's
need...
like, you literally have no reason to nuke a whole city just to get the people that you want who you think might be threats.
I don't know, man. It's just, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, the more you think about it, the more you start tearing it apart.
But I'm sitting here, I'm watching this targeting computer, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you erasing New Jersey unless you just hate New Jersey? And I get that. But, like, this just seems petty. Like, you went to all this way to wipe out New Jersey? Well, I don't know, man. Like, even Robert Redford is not that short-sighted. Like, I would target other places first. Not many, but a few.
Mm.
Fuck you, New Jersey. No, I'm kidding. No. I would hit Alaska first.
Alaska?
Because fuck you, Alaska.
It is the rape capital of the United States.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it per capita or just reported incidents?
I can't remember the article I read. But
So you need to
that's
back up.
neither here nor there.
Well, you brought it up. See?
I'm just saying. Actually, I think New Jersey was the lowest.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't care. But yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm sitting here just... My mind's... I can't shut it off. You know, but I'm like...
I'm a little better at it because I haven't been reviewing for however many years. You do this for a living. It's always going to be there in your head. You can't...
Well...
And you know what? The problem is, the more you do it, the more you start to criticize. Like, I've noticed myself starting to criticize plots of even really good movies that I really like from my childhood.
It ruins it, doesn't it?
Like, I start watching, Raiders of the Lost Ark and going, wait a minute. And then I'm like, no,
like
don't
what?
ruin it.
Like what?
I don't remember it right now.
Oh, you don't
I just remember watching it and thinking that there were some stupid things in the
bullshit.
plot. And then telling myself, what am I doing? Oh my god, what have I become?
There's not really ghosts in the Ark of the Covenant.
No, it wasn't that. It was
I know.
just picking out... You start picking out everything, and you can't stop it, because that's where your brain is wired now.
How did he ride on top of the submarine all that way?
Probably. I probably thought of that at some point.
No, but... I forgot what I was going to say. No,
I ruined it. Oh no.
No, but... With the the whole targeting thing, fuck, I can't remember what I was going to say. The only purpose that served is, again, it doesn't matter, because the only purpose it was supposed to serve, really, is to show that they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh shit, they're going to wipe out New York. They're bad.
Yeah.
I hope Captain America stops them, because comics.
Yeah.
And the action, you didn't really care about it because you just wanted to get back to Winter Soldier and Captain America fighting.
Yeah.
Because that scene blew past in like 8 seconds. They're like, they're targeting New York, they're targeting New Jersey, whatever, Winter Soldier.
Face punching.
Yeah, because you just went back to punch face.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I sound like
that was okay.
I sound like such a hypocrite there. But sometimes when the movie is good enough in other respects, you're kind of willing to let that one slide.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. I can't explain it any better than that. I thought the action choreography was really good.
The pace was good. At no point did I ever get bored watching it.
I thought the editing was a little frenetic, but at the same time, I thought the shaky cam was limited, so
thankfully.
The editing can be a little the editing can be hyper as long as you limit shaky cam,
Mm-hmm.
So if it's both, then yeah, it's instant fucking migraine.
Mm-hmm.
I do not regret not seeing it in 3D.
Oh yeah.
Although I will never watch anything in 3D if I can help it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done. I don't know if you have anything else to say.
All I've got left is the after credit sequences. Got me really excited for the.
Oh wait, I thought of another preview that the pain blocked it from my mind. Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah, there was an Adam Sandler preview.
No, I will never forgive you for this. You said it didn't look too bad.
I didn't say it didn't look too bad. I said at least it looked like they put effort
Okay,
in,
that's right.
which is more than you can say for Jack and Jill.
But
It looked like they had money and used it for the movie instead of putting it in Adam Sandler's pocket.
I suddenly want to go shop at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Well, we could say that, but we also know, it was very obviously product placement.
Dick's
So
Sporting
was the
Goods.
movie we just watched. There was a lot of very obvious product
Not
placement.
really. I saw Bubble Yum.
There was Bubble Yum. There was Apple. There was
Okay.
there was that. What did I see on the cart?
That was Bubble Yum.
No, yeah, there was that. No, there was something else.
Starburst?
Yes, the Starburst box. There were a lot of very obvious products.
Yeah, that wasn't obvious.
They were
Obvious would have been if there was Bubble Yum. Oh.
Well, obvious was Iron Man, the first one, when it's go to Burger King and get cheeseburgers.
Yeah. This was
so
stuff off the distance.
It wasn't super unexpected, but it was there.
Now, the Adam Sandler movie, the Dick's Sporting Goods shirt was front and center of every shot he was in.
Yeah.
And then there was 3 people with Dick's Sporting Goods shirts. That was ridiculous. And before you say oh well, it's just maybe he was working at Dick's Sporting Goods. Adam Sandler is notorious for cramming in as much product placement as he possibly can in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, that was not coincidence. So probably the most shameless product placement in this movie was the Apple Store.
Mm-hmm.
And if that would have been shameless if Black Widow was wow, hacking these interwebs is so easy on this Apple computer. And even the technobabble was relatively limited. The only one
they didn't do too bad with it.
The only one I remember is whoever did this must have spoofed the signal over a router. That was the only line I remember. I was you didn't use the word firewall, damn it. I was oh, damn it, the signal's being encrypted through a firewall.
Mm-hmm.
I was plug it through a socket port.
Although I don't really want to believe that you could just walk into an Apple store in the mall and suddenly start working on triangulating coordinates for your little shield stolen data.
Little thumb drive?
Thumb drive,
I like how the thumb drive lights up and it makes a little sound. It's awesome. Anyway, this is the 3rd time I said it. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah. If you go see it, stay for the after credits, and then stay for the after
credits.
There's 2. You have to stay for both of them.
There's after credits and after credits.
Yeah. So wait. We only knew because somebody in the audience
was there's more.
Oh wait, there's more. And we're oh shit, okay. We'll stand here awkwardly and see if there's more, and there was.
And then after the after credits, if you just wait in total silence and blackness for 4 minutes, there's something after the after credits.
Now he's lying.
Yeah, I am lying. Anyway, we got a busy weekend.
It's called the ushers getting you out of there so they can sweep up all
the
popcorn.
fuck out. It's over. We got a busy weekend. We've got at least WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we're going to see that one. Probably here at home, but we've got at least that. We might have a food video coming up. But
yeah, because it's my birthday week, so we're doing a birthday week celebration of delicious Japanese food.
She's going to make me eat horrible things again.
I told him I'm going to look for the worst donuts I can possibly find. We have to top, what was the worst one last time? It wasn't the curry, it was the corn and mayonnaise.
Oh.
That was the nastiest one last time, so we have to top corn and mayonnaise donuts.
Well, no, what was the one that I said had coleslaw in it?
That was the potato donut the time before.
That was the most horrible one.
That was even worse than corn and mayonnaise?
Yeah. That was the worst one.
I thought the worst one was the curry one.
The curry one made me...
It should not have... I mean, I ate it. It was okay, but thinking back on
it...
I don't really want to eat a curry donut again.
The curry one was, at the end, so it was kind of
right.
it piled on top of everything, so I was already at,
You're already ready to hurl it.
Yeah, I was, my hurl scale was at 9, and that was, just pushed it over the edge. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.